ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰਦੀਪ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਵ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਵੀ ਗੋਣਾ ਗੈਟ ਲੋਟਸ ਆਫ ਗੁੱਡ advice regarding lots of things। ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਇਸ ਲਈ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਦੀਪ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਕਸ਼ਨ ਦਵਾਂਗੇ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਯੂ ਗਾਇਜ਼ ਹੈਵ ਸੀਨ ਮੀ ਸੋ ਮੈਨੀ ਟਾਈਮਸ ਐਂਡ ਯੈਸ ਪ੍ਰਦੀਪ ਜੀ ਐਜ਼ ਵੈਲ ਵਨਸ। ਸੋ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਫੈਬਰੂਅਰੀ ਦੀ ਲਵ ਯੋਰਸੈਲਫ ਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਆਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਸੌਰੀ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਆਫ ਸਮ ਟੈਕਨੀਕਲ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ we had a previous one which is of very short duration of time. So here we go, a very what do you say studied person, not like me ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆ ਖਾਓ ਉਹ ਖਾਓ। So I'm going to welcome first of all Pardeep ji. She has done her BSc in nutrition and dietitian, so please correct me if I'm wrong somewhere.
Yeah, so that's bachelor's in nutrition and dietetics, and then master's in food and nutrition. Yeah.
And then presently she's also registered dietitian in New Zealand, am I right?
Yes. Yeah.
Hanji. And then currently she works in a rehab in Middlemore Hospital.
Yeah, as a rehab dietitian in Middlemore Hospital. So yeah, so rehab, do you want me to explain it? Yeah. So rehab is like if someone has a stroke or someone has a mostly the old people, when they are over 90s, they are more prone to malnutrition, and then sometimes they can fall, and after that they admit in the hospital just to get that rehab history so that they are back to their normal baseline. Like let's say if someone is doing their own activities by their own, so after fall probably they won't be doing everything by their own. So then we work as a team: occupational therapists, physiotherapists, doctors, dietitians. We all work together to put them back to what they were before. So that's my role in there, in a hospital.
You provide them the guidance what to eat so that they get a correct nutrition.
So we do have many nutritional screening tools. Like if someone I see is malnourished, so which is like maybe they have lost a lot weight in past 6 to 12 months, then I just see him, then I think of like any nutritional supplement support, like let's say if you have a stomach ache, so you have that medication, right? So we do have a medicines, like we call it nutritional supplements. So if someone lost a lot of weight in like a less time in last 6 to 12 months, then we give them the medication like in form of nutritional supplement. So we decide which one we need to give. And then sometimes like after stroke patient not able to eat food because they have swallowing issues, then we think of maybe you have heard of putting an NG tube through the nose to their stomach, and then we decide what we need to give them there. And sometimes if after stroke patient won't be eating for a longer time, then we decide to get the peg in there. So we put a direct tube from outside into their stomach to give them nutrition. So that's what I do in my daily life as a rehab dietitian.
It sounds a bit painful, and it's kind of so as you have said, like what you are doing, so related to this I want to, because nowadays everybody is really aware of what they should eat, or they are thinking they are aware of what they should eat and what not. So we'll talk about gut health, because when I personally didn't follow what to eat, what not to eat, for me gut was a stomach, but when I followed lots of dietitians and read lots of books, then I got to know that's the small intestine and large intestine and how it works. So I have a question for you. Like I have heard like fiber is very important for our gut health. So what are the things we should eat to have a good gut health? If you recommend as a dietitian, what would you recommend to people?
Yeah, so you're right. Fiber is one of the most important thing that we need to have in our diet in terms of having a good gut health. So basically fiber is a out shell of everything. Like if you skin of the fruits, skin of the veggies, whole grains, because you have that hull and husk part of the grain. So all the whole grain cereals like a wheat, all the legumes which comes with like a rajma, chickpeas, all of these things, they have a lot of fiber in there. So fiber like has a many good things in our body to do with. And one thing is a gut health. Another one is a diabetes, heart disease, all of the metabolic, I can say metabolic diseases. Fiber can help us with that. So that's
Tempted.
why it's a hot topic for everyone. Like include fiber in your diet. Include fiber in your diet. Yes.
So are there any supplements people should like, because kids, like small kids, they don't eat that many vegetables, they don't eat that many whole like legumes or something. So do we, definitely we should solely depend on a diet, but is there anything else people should take so that the fiber?
Um, yeah, so we do have a supplements for the fiber, but it's not for everyone, I can say. So if your normal human body, your body is working well, you don't have any other conditions, then it's not a good idea to include fiber through medicines or a supplement. If you are elderly person and due to some disease conditions or some circumstances you are not able to eat properly, or you are eating little smaller portions, then we can definitely we do that, like as a, because here in New Zealand I am also a dietetic prescriber, which means I can recommend some of the medicines and some of the like the soul nutrients, if I think like patient wants that. So we do like a fiber. Have you heard of psyllium husk?
No.
No. ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਈਸਬਗੋਲ ਦਾ ਬੁਰਾਦਾ।
Yes, yes. ਸਾਡੇ
Yes,
ਘਰੇ
isabgol. Yeah, hanji. Isabgol da burada is a fiber. So basically, it's a husk. Husk means fiber. So
I know.
fiber that's a kind of like a natural form. ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਚੀਜ਼ laxatives ਵਗੈਰਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ। ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਇਨਕੋਰਪੋਰੇਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਹੈਲਦੀ ਹਿਊਮਨ ਬੀਇੰਗ ਐਡਲਟਸ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਥਰੂ ਫੂਡ ਇਨਫ ਫਾਈਬਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਾ ਰਹੇ ਡਾਈਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਬਟ otherwise if you think you're okay, you can eat food, you can eat all types of different food sources like legumes, fruits and veg, then go for that. I will not recommend like a psyllium husk or isabgol labrada. Now comes to the children, we really don't recommend any supplements for the children unless they have a problem like a constipation, or sometimes they just store their stools inside the stomach. So there is a condition when if any baby is not doing regular stools and not opening their bowels regularly, so they have a capacity to store their stool inside our rectum piece or the large intestine. So in those cases then we know it can be a medical problem for them, then we do recommend like any type of fiber to help them. But so I do understand that you said baby they are not able to eat all of the legumes and stuff, but still because their body is small so their requirements are small. So if they eat like whatever you are serving them, like any fruits and veggies, if you give them with husk, like with the skin on, they will meet their requirements, so they don't need any extra supplementation.
Like if they're eating apple or
Yeah,
pear,
yeah,
so that helps. So
yeah.
just leading to this question, is there any like, because when we're talking about the gut health, so we say like this is the time we should eat and this is the time we should stop eating. So
Yeah.
what is the time for us to eat the food, and what is the like time just we should not eat after that?
So we always say eat small and frequent meals so that whatever you eat, your body digests that properly. So gut health is all about our digestion. Like when we eat food, it goes our food pipe, we call it esophagus, and then it goes to our stomach where all the digestion happens, like in the small intestine, then the large intestine, then it goes to the rectum where we open our stools. So that's the process how we digest our food. So like we do have our body produces many enzymes and many acids to digest the food properly. So body had its own tendency to produce all the enzyme, all the acids after some time. So sometimes some people say like we don't eat much but still ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ gas ਬਣਦੀ ਹੈ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ heartburn ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ acidity ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ. So ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਸੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ because you're not eating enough. So your body is producing all the acids, all the enzymes, but you're not eating enough so that your body will digest that food, like use that acid or enzyme to digest the food. So sometimes because let's say you have something in your glass, right? You have a little bit of food and then you put some acid on top, and then it will digest and everything gonna go away, right? But let's say if you don't have any food in there and you put it, your body is giving you acid, 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 by end of the time, so it will be like a full glass, and then that's how you feel like a mere muh ch aa gaya acid, like I'm feeling heartburn. So that's all the situation is. So try to eat 3 main meals, which is your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a little snacks in between. So as a mid-morning snack, as an evening snack. So when we stop eating food is before you go to bed. Try to eat your food at least 2 hours before you go to the bed, because that's how like your food takes like 2 to 3 hours to digest properly. So let's say if you eat like full stomach and then you directly go to the sleep, then definitely your body is not like all the internal things will happen, but
Mhm.
not in that fast pace, like when we are active, when we are working, when we are walking, or when we're doing something like a little chores here and there. So that's why we always say try to eat your food at least 2 hours before you go to bed. So that's
Okay.
the perfect, I can say, timing to eat food.
So leading to this question, like nowadays a very hot topic, we should eat whole grains, wheat.
Hmm.
So many people are going like, I'm gonna do keto diet, I'm gonna do a gluten free diet. People are going towards that. So what
Yeah.
is your stance on that? Do people eat like different fancy breads, or they should go back to the basics and eat like apna, atta, wheat flour? What's your stance on that?
So if we talk about this thing in terms of gut health, the definitely all the processed food, because they do have emulsifiers, they do have additives, they do use like a preservatives to keep it longer. So when we add additional things like emulsifiers, additives, and all of these the additional things, it disturbs our gut health. So when it comes to the gut health, try to eat natural food, which is like fresh fruits and vegetables, legumes. Even if you want to eat like eggs, you can eat eggs, you can eat meat, whatever you like, but it should be in a fresh form. Not like, if we consider meat like a chicken, you can also get sausages, in the supermarket. That's a processed version of chicken. And same with the like there are other things, like let's say if we talk about cereals, like the breakfast cereals, they are processed, right? Like
Yeah.
cornflakes. So if you're eating corn flour in breakfast, like to make a makki di roti, so
Yeah.
that's okay because it's not processed. It is still, it's processed. Like you will, there's a whole grain and then you make a powder form. That's what we call processing. But there's no additional things in there. There's no emulsifiers. There's no preservatives. There's no additives in there. But when you have to make a cornflakes and you want that cornflakes to last longer,
Mhm.
definitely. So, you need to put something to preserve it. And when we add preservatives, that's how it affects our gut health. So
Yeah.
good ways to keep a natural food in our diet.
So that's why I think our dadi, nani, they didn't
Hmm.
get that much. Their gut health is much better because वो
Yeah.
they eat, bajre di roti, kade, makki di roti, kade kanak di roti. And nowadays we are more reluctant to eat easy packet food ke heat kita te kha liya. So yeah, so
Hanji.
that big I think eye opener. I think we should say no to the things which are from, you know when we have to open the plastic and go back
Yes,
to
you're
basic.
right. Yeah. 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 So something fresh is really important rather than going for a processed food. Anything packaged, because you see, like let's say if so I'm trying to give you an example. Let's say
Mhm.
if you have atta, like you make a roti, you can't, last that roti cannot last for a longer. But if you want it to make it like you want to keep it for a longer, so you put something in there just to make sure that it won't, get moldy or stuff. Yeah. Another thing, like I do understand that thing on the other hand, that now we are really working hard and we have our families, and sometimes it's hard to um, use like a fresh things. So we always prefer handy foods. So what we can do, we can make our, like when we are week on a weekend, so when we are free, we can try to make a natural food and then we can freeze it, because
Okay.
freezing, freezing is a preservative technique, but we are not using any chemical, we are not using any additional thing to keep it longer. It just, we are giving them a, like a cold, like a heat temperature, sorry, treatment. So when we put anything in the freezer, so it just reactivate all the enzymes, everything, like it just get frozen, everything gets frozen, so there's no sense of getting mold on the food and stuff. So it's a better way to cook your food, keep it in the fridge, and then even you can like do a smaller portions, and then you can, when you really want to eat food, then just remove it from the freezer and then heat it up and then eat it. So that's an easy and a healthy way to eat your food.
This just little bit of preparation will help to keep our gut health, because it's not about losing weight or gaining it. It's more about keeping yourself more healthier by keeping
Yeah,
your gut.
yeah. Because in my life experience, I have seen many young patients. So
Mm-hmm.
they have so much gut issues going on. So all of their life is disturbed. Like they couldn't sleep properly at night. Then when to like next morning they're gonna go to work. So they feel tired, they feel lack of energy, they don't have a that sense to work properly. So all of these things happen. So end of the story is like your gut health is as important as everything else. So we are not considering this. So that's why I always say no. So you have to do some changes in terms of your gut health. You should be keeping your gut health, like your gut healthy. That's what we want. Otherwise your whole life will be disturbed.
Yeah, so it is as important. Now people are talking more about mental health,
Hmm.
to give more like same kind of preference to their gut health as well. So
Yes, it is. Yeah.
like when we saying gut health is really important as mental health is. So what is the part of exercise in our gut health?
So we really don't have like a specific guidelines or recommendations just for gut health, but definitely we do have a guidelines for physical activity for a normal adult, or we do have a different guidelines for the babies and children, toddlers, all of them. So what we say is like any person, like a healthy person, can do at least 30 to 45 minutes of walking,
Mm-hmm.
or 30 to 5 minutes of any moderate kind of a activity, most of the days, which is like a 5 times in a week, and
Mm-hmm.
another 2 days of a muscle strengthening. So that if you have that regime, and if you do this much of physical activity, so this will help you with your all the metabolic diseases like your diabetes, your heart health, your stroke, your hypertension, all of them, plus your gut health, plus your physical, I can say, fitness. So all, like everything is included in there. So 30 to 45 minutes of any moderate intensity exercise most of the days, which is 5 days in a week. And if you can do on top like a 2 strengthening days, like 2 days of strengthening exercises, that's like a sonite suhaga waligal. So but if you manage to do 5 times a week, that's
That's
perfectly fine.
okay. So exercise is as important as mental health as well as the gut health. So we should do 30 to 40 minutes of at least a walk, and to
Yes.
strength training or some weights or body, or we can use body weight as well to strengthen ourselves by doing
Yeah. So sometimes people do think like muscle strengthening means we need to do weighing, like body weighing or all of these things. But if you do stairs, like if you, when you're at work or you going somewhere, you can use stairs. Like
Mhm.
stairs is a like muscle strengthening activity. Dancing, so like our traditional dance gidda pangada is a muscle strengthening activity.
Ah,
So, and
hmm.
like it's a fun and your physical activity, so it's, yeah.
Don't have to carry on dumbbells and
No.
you can use your body weight, like you can
Yeah.
cardio,
Yeah.
but cardio in the sense of going stairs up and down, doing our dancing, because it's going to use the whole of your body as well. So
Yeah.
that's good thing. I have a very burning question, because especially in our community we consume a lot of tea and coffee. I think it's in everyone's community too. So what is your stance on drinking these beverages? Is it like, because I ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਟਾਈਮ 'ਚ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਲੋਕੀ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ then they drink the tea. ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਵਿਹਲੇ ਹੁੰਨੇ ਆ ਚੱਲ ਚਾਹ ਪੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ. So what is your stance on drinking the tea?
So I will not say like tea is a harmful if you eat drinking it in a moderation and the right time and in the right amount. So um another thing is like when you make your tea, how much you're boiling your tea leaves. That's
Okay.
another thingy, because as much as you're going to boil them, they're going to release more tannins, and tannins is a kind of an anti-nutrient thing which inhibits like hinders the absorption of iron in our body. So that's why, and it's not good to drink tea with your meals. That's what we do every time wrong.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the wrong thing that we are doing. Almost everyone, like all of us, we are doing that. So you can drink tea, but try to have a gap at least 1 hour, 1.5 hour before and after your meal. Let's say, and another thing is don't drink your tea alone. Try to have some a little snack with it.
Okay.
Yeah, because obviously ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਈ ਲੋਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚਾਹ ਪੀ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਵੀ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ. So
Yes.
it just because it's a hot, and also the your gastric juices mix up with your tannins and all of these things, so it just builds up everything in there. But if you give some food so that your stomach acid will be busy in the food, and then tea will do its own part, and then you'll be fine.
So we
But
confuse our stomach acids that this is the tea, but we have a food here, so we're just gonna confuse you.
Yeah, so we're gonna confuse you. You try to digest your food because there's nothing to digest in tea. We put a little milk. If you're making a proper dudh patti ali, like a lot of milk and less tea, then it's fine. It won't be a problem. I know, like I still remember when I was working in India, we used to say to the patient, try to have a dip tea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you're not boiling. So you're just, like kind of infusing the flavor in there. So there are tannins. Still, dip tea has some tannins in there, but not as much as when you boil them. Like kada bana ke pee liya, better than that one. So
But ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਕੰਮ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਦੋ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ boil ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਹੋਰ ਕੱਢ ਜੇ. So I have to stop doing that, isn't it?
yes, but if you really, because another thing that what I learned here in New Zealand is, we don't say people to stop that. If you really enjoy that, we just give them an alternative way. So let's say if you said like you really enjoy that coffee, like your tea, to have two tea bags in there, boil it properly, have it, you can still have it, but try to have 1 hour or 1.5 hour before and after your meal, and try to have a little snack, maybe a suji da rusk with that tea.
Okay.
So just a one suji da rusk with that tea, so it's okay. So you
That's
can
my
go that way.
once a week because I'm trying to cut down my tea and coffee. So I do once, and I try to enjoy it as much as I can.
Yeah, that's okay because see, we all are working, we all are busy in lives, we all are doing all the activities, and then if you really relish something, if you really enjoy something, I won't asking you to stop that. So maybe I can give you alternative. Okay, still you can do that, but try to do it in another way, try to do it in a different way so that it won't harm you as much as it's doing at the moment.
So just one question related to it as well. So people do have tea first thing in the morning. Is this a good thing?
No. First thing, like ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਉਠੋ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਲਓ, ਹਨਾ, ਮਤਲਬ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੋਲ ਨੂੰ ਚੰਗੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਿਓ. ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਸੋਲ ਨੂੰ ਚੰਗੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇਣੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੋਡੀ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਚੰਗੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਨਾ. ਹੁਣ ਚਾਹ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਾਈਕ ਟੈਨਿਨਸ ਨੇ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ, ਐਂਟੀ ਨਿਊਟ੍ਰੀਐਂਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਹੈ. ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਬੋਡੀ ਨੂੰ ਟੈਨਿਨਸ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਦੈਟਸ ਨਾਟ ਅ ਗੁੱਡ ਆਈਡੀਆ. ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹਾਈਡਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਦਿਓ ਆਪਣੀ ਬੋਡੀ ਨੂੰ. ਲਾਈਕ ਇੱਕ ਵੱਡਾ ਗਲਾਸ ਪਾਣੀ ਦਾ ਪੀਓ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚੋ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਦਿਨੇ ਕੁਛ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਥੋੜੀ ਦੇਰ ਬਾਅਦ ਪਾਣੀ ਪੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ, ਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚੋ ਸੌਂਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ, ਕਈ ਲੋਕੀ ਆ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੈਬਿਟ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਪਾਣੀ ਪੀਂਦੇ ਆ, ਬਟ I would say 80% people, they don't do it. It just disturbs their sleep. So they just, eat their roti or eat their dinner and then drink water at that time. And then before they go to bed, they pass their urine and then nothing in there. And then you wake up in the morning and then you drink. you try to hydrate yourself for all the hours, like for your overnight hours.
Mhm.
But if you're giving the tannins, so there's no hydration.
So
Try to
drink
have,
water. I just
yes, yeah.
some rock salt and some lemon. That's and afterwards black
You
coffee.
drink, sorry, you drink what? Lemon and?
Rock salt.
No.
No, okay.
Rock salt is a sodium. So sodium has a capacity to retain water in our body, but we are giving water for our kidneys so that all the toxins and all the builds up that the kidneys has, they just excrete it out. But if you're having salt with your water, so you're trying your kidneys to keep that water inside, not
Okay.
letting it go. So
So,
not good idea to have a salt first thing in the morning.
so just
No.
warm water and some lemon.
Yeah, just warm. Because why we say lemon? Because it's a vitamin C, and
Yes.
vitamin C is really good for immunity. So you're giving like a positive thing first, like a hydration and immunity. See, so that's why we say lemon water.
So I've learned so many things today. How how to drink, how not to drink first thing, rock salt, and
Yeah.
how much exercise I should do, and how much strength training I should do, what kind of food I should eat. So if I listed, so there are so many good things we get out of this interview. The kids should eat an apple or pear that will give them enough of the fiber, and best time, like, we should not go to sleep straight away, just take some two times. So there are so many good things, like go back to your basics and eat
Mm,
flour, like wheat or makki or jawar or bajra, koi bhi atta khao, but no preservative. So
mm.
thank you very much, Pradeep ji, for such a good insight. And I hopefully will see you again soon too. Because ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਐਵੇਂ ਹੀ ਇੱਕ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਅੱਜ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਟ ਹੈਲਥ ਤੇ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ, next time we should talk something else, and then I think it will educate, because I have learned so much from you today, because you
Thank
have
you.
tools and skills which can help the other people as well.
Yeah,
Any
thank you
of
so much. It's all my pleasure to share this information with other people so they can apply in their own daily life, and then they can see the difference. So
Hmm,
it's like a good deeds. You're
good.
doing good deeds.
Oh, nice. Any words of to say bye to all the viewers?
So from me, eat healthy, sleep, like have a good sleep, do some physical activity, be happy. That's what I would say.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
that's a key for your healthy living.
key for healthy living. ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ
Yeah.
podcast ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਵੀ ਕੀ ਹੈ? Love yourself. To love yourself, you need to eat healthy, you need to sleep, you need to exercise, you need to eat lots of natural food, no packet food. So here we go, and our dietitian has said the same thing. Thank you very
Yes.
much for coming with us on the India Live, and hopefully we'll see you again. See you,
Yeah,
everyone.
sure, sure. Bye bye.